Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over the most underrated operators in Rainbow Six Siege. This is going to be in general, not just soloQ. As you guys know, I do have a soloQ series. If you don't know about that, go ahead and check that out. I will make sure to link that in the description down below. I do in all my videos for this season's Dread Factor playlist. It's going super well so far. We're doing great to start the season out. So hopefully we can continue. We're soloQing all the way to champion, and my goal is to play over 200 matches this season. So for sure, check that out if you want some soloQ tips. I go very in-depth every single video I do, and I try to upload a full game almost every day. Right now I'm going for 5 full games a week, so go and check that out. I'm trying to keep the daily uploads going too. But for this video, I'm going to be going over the underrated operators in Siege. This could be Caveira, Twitch, anything really, because right now, in this running gun meta, in the deathmatch meta that a lot of people call it, it's very good for like anything really. It's very flexible. Like you could play Cali with the SMG and it could work. You can play Zero every round and it could work because he's so good. You can play Omru, it could work. Like you can play anybody really. It's hard to see any operators that aren't very good right now. Like you can make a Blitz work some rounds, you can make a Glaz work, Twitch. There's not really any bad operators, like even Blackbeard. I don't like Blackbeard at all, and I never play him. I haven't played him in years, I think, but you can make Blackbeard work even with a shield. It could work sometimes for repels or something. It's just such a versatile meta right now and so balanced with all the ops. The operator picks are not what's killing you guys in your games. It's going to be your positioning and stuff, I'm telling you. If you know how to play the operator correctly, then they're probably going to be good. There could be better choices, but you can still make it work. I think the worst ops right now are probably like Thunderbird and Cav. But again, like I said, you can make that stuff work. So that kind of brings us to the most underrated operators in the game. First on attack, at the number 5 spot is going to be Twitch from the thumbnail. So Twitch has the F2 and on console. Also, don't mind the Copper 4 up there. I've only played a few games on my main account this season because obviously we're doing the soloQ series and I have another account for that. So I haven't really played on my main this season though, in the first few weeks. Hopefully I can at some point because I'm trying to get the Alpha packs or the Bravo packs from the Battle Pass finished so I can do a huge pack opening. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be 300 plus. Going to get a lot of Black Ice and a lot of Legendaries, I'm sure. But anyways, that's why I have the extended barrel equipped right now. If you see my videos, you know this thing has no recoil the way I use it, even with this attachment. It has no recoil across the board. So that the F2 is insane on console, one of the best guns in my opinion. 41 damage, 980 fire rate. So good. And then you have Claymore smokes, which could be useful in some situations, especially when you're solo queuing, which again, that's what I usually do. But I'm not basing it off just solo queue in this video. Usually I am, but not this one. So the smokes are going to be your best friend. You can make plays with smokes. That's going to be third best gadget behind the grenades and the stuns. So I'm going to be referring to that quite often, but Twitch is going to be very underrated for getting mirrors, capcan traps, any of that kind of stuff, even just default cameras. Just a tip too, if you throw the drones at the start of the round, I believe the charge ups will build throughout. I'm not sure if there's a limit or not. I need to check that out, but if you just throw it at the start of the round, they'll charge up right away, and then you can drive it in. I would just throw it at the building right when you spawn in so it can get on the balcony or whatever. Wherever you're pushing from. But Twitch is a very underrated operator these days. The only downside is you can't clear shields or like a zombie barriers at all. And that is a problem, but if you're stacked, that shouldn't be as much of an issue. You should have a couple operators that can do that stuff already. I feel like you can always bring a Twitch along as the flex operator for most sites, unless you need 2 hard breachers. Then I wouldn't recommend the Twitch, but she is going to be good a lot of the time, so start running Twitch more with the F2 on console. She is insane if you can use that gun and learn it good. I do love playing some Twitch in my soloQ videos if you guys have checked those out like I mentioned earlier. The next most underrated operator is going to be Capitao. I don't really run him too much in my videos either, but he is very underrated. I love these operators here on attack that have the Gone 6 hard breach combo. You can pretty much do everything you want. And he has a really good gun with an extended barrel, so 52 damage. Actually insane. 2 shots on a 3-speed is going to get a kill every time. And there's a lot of 3 speeds, really. I don't know why I have angle grip. It's probably not even that bad. He has no recoil on this gun, especially with the slower fire rate. If you can hit your shots with this thing in the body shot machine. Very good weapon. And the LMG is quite insane too. You have 48 damage on that. The 100 bullets. I don't think this LMG got nerfed as hard as some of the others too. But again, hard reach combo with the Gon 6, you can pretty much do anything you want. Your ability is only going to be countered by Wamai magnets, I believe. They go right through ADSs, so he's very good for taking rafters yourself. You can breach the wall down on the garage to get the long angle up into the rafters, up into R90. And you can use the Gon 6 to clear any zombies you want as well. It's really, really useful to have a Capital a lot of the time. Very underrated operator. He could easily be like top 2 or 3 on this list as well. He could even be first, honestly. These operators are all really good. Next operator is going to be Glaz. I know some of you guys are saying, oh, how is Capital behind Glaz? But let me tell you, Glaz has grenades and the Gon 6. That's so much clear right there. And if you don't need the Gon 6 for something, if you already have enough clear on your team, take the Bearing 9, use that as your main weapon. Take the PMM and use that as your main weapon. Like, these guns are insane as secondaries. These are 2 of the best secondaries in the game, and the Gon 6. He has so many good choices. And then use the smokes even over grenades if you want to do a specific strategy. It's really good to open a Maverick line and you just throw a smoke grenade right on top of it, and Glaz can just swing left and right on the holes and peek. Very good strategy. They never expect that. But even his main gun, it's going to be a 2-shot kill almost every single time if you can hit their body. Way better sniper than Cali, to be honest. The fire rate's obviously a lot higher semi-automatic compared to Cali's being a bolt action. So you can actually spray this thing around. Not the fastest fire rate, but not too bad either. And again, the Bearing 9 if you need it, if you don't need the Gon 6. I always take grenades though with the Bearing 9. That way I can have some clear and I can have a good gun on top of the DMR. If I'm up close, I can always swap to this. He is very useful. Even in soloQ he is. Grenades are just going to be your best friend on attack. You can make a lot of plays with grenades. Throw a grenade wherever you're entering, then you can just jump in safely. You know they can't be there because they would have blown up. And if they are there, free kill. Obviously, I still would recommend taking a Yana, a Nook, a Sledge over Glaz almost every time, but if you already have 2 of them and you want more grenades, just go Glaz. Or if you want to have some fun and take Glaz, just take them. Why not? It's only a video game at the end of the day, even if you're playing ranked. It's not that deep, let me tell you. Next on this list is going to be Ying. Ying is so good. I need to play Ying more in my videos. She has the hard breach devices or smokes. If you bring smokes, you're going to have 2 sets of those, and you're going to have 4 Candelas. That's so much clear. Even if they have 3 ADSs stacked up and 2 Wamai magnets, you're going to end up burning through all of that and still getting something off. And they're not going to have all that stacked, obviously. So you're always going to have your Candelas go off and your smokes. She's really good on taking Oregon. She's good in the big window, and she's good in the basement on bunker. She's just good everywhere, to be honest. Ying is a very underrated operator still somehow. A lot of people just don't know how to play around the Candelas, but all you have to do is just spam them. Spam them in the room at the right spots where you know the defenders are going to be playing. Get one of your teammates to throw some stuns in first to burn the ADSs, and you can just even use it more effectively. She is so good. I'd also recommend running the angle grip because you're going to be going in really fast usually, and you're not going to be ADS when you're sprinting in. So this can help you just a little bit faster, get you that kill. And if you're on the flash hider, still won't be that much recoil anyway. And she has the 1.5, really good for close range. So all around, Ying has a very good loadout. I like running the hard breach too, so I can get a wall myself. Just a bonus thing you can do with Ying. And the most underrated operator in Siege is going to be Zero, at least for the attacking side right now. So Zero has 2 good primary guns. He has the Gon 6 and hard breach again. So the combo that I've been talking about this whole time, there it is once again. You can get walls with Zero. You can use the Gon 6 to clear any utility like shields or the zombies. And you have the cameras. The cameras can actually work to burn ADSs or Wamai magnets, I believe, too. I think. And you can use the Gon 6 to clear after. So you can burn yourself and clear. And you have an insane gun. I always use this gun over the MP7. The fire rate's only 100 less, and you have like 18 more damage with the extended barrel. And only 5 less bullets is not that much of a difference anyway. And the recoil's pretty much the same, honestly. It's more consistent, but maybe a little bit more vertical. But I run the angle grip on it even. So if you're on the vert grip, it's going to be less than the MP7. So Zero is a very, very good operator. Still so underrated. If you have one spot freed up for a flex operator, I'd always pick Zero. Unless you're trying something very specific. Zero is just so, so good. He's a one-man army, literally. You can even get a wall by yourself. You can shoot a cam underneath on a soft floor if it is soft, and it usually is. Or just through like another wall on the site. And completely get the bandits off, or the Cade, or the mute jammer. With his little zap thing on his cameras. And then you can breach the wall yourself with the hard breach. It's just insane what you can do with Zero. You can do anything you want. I've been saving up to get him on my soloQ account actually for my videos because he's that good. He is a little bit more expensive than some others, but if you don't have Zero on your roster, for sure get him immediately. And you'll see the results. Moving on to the defense, first is going to be Kver. I know you think I'm crazy for putting her on the list, but like I said at the start of the video, you can pretty much run any operator right now in this meta, and you can get away with it if you play them correctly. And obviously it's going to work better if you're on a stack, so you can communicate around that. So if you take a Kver, let her roam by herself, or just around some other operators, and support her. But usually she's going to be best if you just find a rat spot somewhere on the map, like say you're on, I don't know, clubhouse, you're defending the basement, just go up inside a office, hide behind that little desk, and they're probably not going to drone you. 99% sure they won't drone you there. And then just wait to lay flank. Your teammates can just do it like a standard roam, shoot some drones, fall back, maybe get a kill. So say it's 4v4, and there's 30 seconds left in the round. You know they're about to push dirt. You know they're about to drop the main hatch. Start coming down the main stairs, easy flank. Because they're probably not going to be watching the flank that late into it. And if they are, props to them. But even then, you can just quick peek around your corners and you can see they're watching it, and that's just more pressure for them to deal with. Just start running away. Literally just run down the main stairs at that point. It's so good. It works every time. I'd really recommend this if you're not in like the highest lobbies there are, like champ lobbies, with like crazy Zim 5 stacks. Then it might be a little bit more challenging. But if you're good with a pistol, if you're good with a shotgun, if you know how to position yourself correctly to use that kind of loadout, then play more Cav. She's really good. And you have impacts to help you out too. Or the procs. At the number 4 spot on defense is going to be Thorn. Now, Thorn is not the best at all times. Her traps kind of suck at the higher ranks because they're so easy to avoid. Most of the time, if they kill someone, it's going to be because you set them off and then your teammate runs into it afterwards and it's going to kill them on accident. But it's so rare to get a Thorn kill in the higher ranks. Her gun, though, is actually pretty crazy. 40 damage on defense is very high. That's going to be a 3-shot kill to most players at all ranges. And it has no recoil with the extended barrel even. Very good weapon. Fun one to use too. Even the shotgun's good if you run the shotgun over the SMG. If you position yourself correctly, shotgun's going to be very good. I love the MA70. If used properly, of course. And then you'll have the C75 auto at least as a backup. I always run barbed wire too. I combo up the barbed wire with the trap. So it's going to be 5 separate pieces of information you can have on the site now. Or just on your roam. You can even mix them in, put like a piece of barbed wire on the roam, put a trap on the roam, use the rest on site for your team. And there you go. I do love her and Ella for that, having 5 pieces of traps with a barb. I don't really run shields anymore at this point, since Smoke lost his now even. I run shield on Frost, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. That's playing soloQ at least, because like shields are kind of outdated in this meta. Sitting behind a shield, bunkering on site. If you're in the higher ranks, that's probably not going to work a lot of the time unless you have a stack communicating along with you for that, for a certain specific setup. But shields are more outdated than what they used to be. Just a lot of traps, a lot of barbed wire. Swing everything and you're good to go pretty much. And have cams. Next up on the list is going to be Tachanka. I actually just played a full game the other day where I only mained Glaz and Tachanka the entire game on new consulate, and it was an overtime match. That's going to be uploaded tomorrow, so you guys will want to be subscribed for that game. It's a fun one. I did play pretty well, actually, too, on Tachanka. You'll for sure want to check that one out. And that's coming from someone that hasn't played Tachanka or Glaz like all season so far. Definitely an experience for me, to say the least. But Tachanka was actually pretty insane. In this meta, all about the gun, you have a 2x scope now with an extended barrel. And I loved this gun when it was on cap game with a 1.5, so it feels so good. There's no recoil on it. And the 2x scope's my favorite, probably. It's so clean to use. And then on top of that, you have the bearing 9. Such a good secondary to switch to. I think it has the highest fire rate in the entire game at 1100. And not much recoil, honestly, these days. At least on controller, for me. And again, you have the barbed wire, so you do have some traps. But if you need the shield, you can have that, I guess. I would not recommend taking this gun, though. If you need to set up the entire site, sure. But again, in this meta, honestly, I don't even recommend setting up the site if you're solo queuing. Just let your team worry about that. Maybe make some holes if you have a certain operator like smoke or mute. But if you're taking Tachanka, just run this gun and frag. All you need to do. And you can always make head holes or foot holes with it too if you need to. And you have the bearing 9 for that. So you have plenty of ammo to go around. But if you're running around a stack, just play the Tachanka. It's so good. And you have the launcher. I haven't even talked about that because the rest of his loadout is so good. But you do have that for stopping certain pushes. He's kind of like a worse smoke. He's like the Walmart version smoke. Or he's like the sun. We have smoke at home. So I would recommend playing Tachanka more in your games, and you'll see some big results. At the number 2 spot is Legion. I know Legion's probably not really underrated for a lot of people, but I still don't see him ran as much as he could be. I think if you're on Legion almost every single round, you'd be set. If you played Legion in your solo queue games, I know this is just in general, but if you did play him in your solo games, like, you'd be good every single round just playing Legion, honestly. It might get a little boring, but at that point, you really start to master his loadout. You have the impacts. You can do so much with these. You can destroy OSA shields. You can impact trick hatches. Just run around and throw them at people like an idiot. Kind of works in this meta. On his gun, I'd recommend using extended barrel as well. Still no recoil. A little bit higher on the damage, so not too bad. Very high fire rate, though. I love this gun. So good. Not much to his loadout, really. You always want impacts over the bulletproof camera. Or you are trolling. But Legion's always going to be good. Like, you have so many traps. You have 8 goo mines. It's insane. They just immediately stop the rush. And there's a lot of rushing going on in this meta. People are just going to run in the building immediately. So if you throw goos at the doorways, to the windows, they're probably going to trigger them. And then you will know they are there. And it should be a free pre-fire. Or at least free knowledge for your team to know they're there. That's why it's so good in solo queue too. But again, if you just run Legion every round, you can never go wrong, really. That's why I still added him into this list, even though he's so good. And I feel like a lot of people know that, but still. Go Legion more. And the number 1 spot on defense is going to be Echo. I love playing Echo. He's the funnest operator in the game for me. He's so much fun to play. If you watch my videos and if you see me play Bank, you know I'm going Echo every single time. Especially on that basement site. He's so much fun. You can do so much with his loadout. Having the MP5 silenced and the bearing 9 on top of impacts. Again, I don't really run the shield as much now, but impacts are going to be really good to have most of the time in this meta. And you can run and gun with this operator too. A lot of people just sit in the site with their drones and play super passive, but honestly, if you get really aggressive with these and hold down high entry points with it and swing, or have your teammates swing off it, he's really good in a 5-stack, let me tell you. I solo queue with him and I still get a lot out of it, and my teammates are red pinging constantly getting my cam shot. So if I can make it work in solo queue, you guys can make it work in stacks. He is insanely good. Very strong operator. I love playing Echo so much. And I think I always will, especially now since he's a 2-speed. So you can get more active and move around the map with him. You can have flanks even. You can just do anything with him. He's so good. So much information. So much fun, so much firepower on his guns. Most underrated operator easily for me. If you watched my best soloQ operators video a couple weeks back, I even mentioned that Zero and Echo were the most underrated operators for me. They were kind of like the honorable mentions in that one. So that's why I wanted to make a video like this and show you some of the operators you guys could be getting some more use out of. I feel like these guys aren't too bad, but they aren't going to be good every round. I would still run your operators like Mozzie, Warden, Solus, Azami. Tell me if you guys want to see a best operators in the game list too. I can do a top 5 for that. Just best attackers straight up, best defenders straight up, instead of just doing soloQ in general. Kind of like this video. This isn't specifically soloQ, but it kind of works like that too. You can play them in soloQ. I wouldn't recommend running stuff like Cav when you're playing by yourself because you're not going to have a clue where they're pushing from a lot of the time, unless you're insane with the camera work and you get lucky with it. So some of these aren't going to be as good in soloQ. That's why I wouldn't run them personally, but they are very good if you utilize them correctly in a stack, or with just 1 or 2 other players at least. Either way though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, leave a like down there below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.